in the morning. I can't sleep. My jaw's busted. They wired it up a couple hours ago and it hurts every time I move my mouth. I lost tonight. I gave everything and I still lost. Feels like I let everyone down. I'm not a...
Causes repeated trauma to the brain. And over years and years of this happening, people can get what's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE syndrome. And it's almost like a disease, because with repeated trauma to the brain, and that can lead to memory problems, mood swings, even trouble with movements, and eventually people can develop dementia, like Alzheimer's disease. Paul got knocked out by Anthony Joshua this past Friday night. And so I want to break this down from a medical perspective. I'm a neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience. And so, you know, what happens is when you get hit in the head with that kind of force, like in boxing, our brain actually moves inside our skull, and it can bump into the skull, which is a firm structure, and cause bruising of the brain.
Jake Paul gets his jaw broken. Not only that, but he gets his lower jaw broken from the right and the left side, so both sides. And not only this, following that, he went through an emergency surgery procedure to get that sorted out, and titanium plates were inserted to help stabilize the case. This will take long to fully heal.
Drinking every night and doing all this and beat you.
Yeah, it was bad.
If you look at the fight, he was much slower. He only threw a hook. Like,
Jake Paul's boxing dream came crashing down in the most violent way possible, leaving his jaw destroyed, teeth gone, and rivals like Gervonta Davis watching from the sidelines in disbelief. The real shock wasn't that Anthony Joshua stopped him, but how instantly the myth fell apart, how fast confidence turned into catastrophe, and why this single night may permanently alter Jake's path in boxing forever. This wasn't a routine knockout. It was a full-scale exposure. Because when Jake hit the canvas again and didn't rise, the fight was over, but the real damage was just beginning. What unfolded afterward revealed consequences far deeper than the final bell, unseen injuries, silent costs, and a loss that cut far deeper than anything the official record will ever show.
he was going like tie him down and catch him with a good shot and shit like that.
So wait, do you think, curious, because it's a business aspect, but again, I'm still a nigga and I'm still a casual fan, so I'm being real.
Hours later, Jake shared the x-rays. A jaw snapped in two separate places, titanium plates lined up, teeth missing, and somehow the caption shocked people even more than the image itself. Calling out Canelo from a hospital bed felt unreal, and that single post sent shockwaves through boxing, exploding reactions across the entire sport.
Pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching.
That call-out spread everywhere for all the wrong reasons, with fans laughing, fighters shaking their heads, and insiders quietly confirming what they already believed. Anthony Joshua's power isn't theoretical, it's destructive, and Jake stepped into a level of violence he had never experienced, a reality doctors now say changes everything.
Anthony Joshua sleeping Jake and breaking his jaw in 2 different places, along with breaking his teeth. Gervonta joined the fun with the rest of the boxing community by throwing a meme on Jake Paul. That was his reaction, as you guys see above.
Behind the filtered posts and controlled images, the truth was far more serious. Emergency surgery stretching to the night as doctors rushed to repair injuries normally seen in high-speed crashes, not prize fights. And if that sounds dramatic, the medical reality that followed was even more disturbing.
Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. Question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake...
For hours on the operating table, titanium plate secured, and surgeons privately admitting that the final right hand fractured both sides of Jake's jaw at the same time, a force so extreme it instantly validated every warning experts issued before the fight, pushing the story into an even darker chapter.
On Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times, 1 by just jabbing in the air, and 2, when he caught him,
While sympathy flowed in from some corners, Gervonta Davis watched with open satisfaction, and understanding why his reaction divided the boxing world requires looking deeper, because this is where emotion, history, and controversy collide head-on.
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing on professionalism, and he's getting what he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything. Doesn't do any promotion.
Sources close to Davis say the hospital images didn't unsettle him. They amuse him, replaying the knockout, laughing, repeating one brutal truth, that Jake was never built for elite boxing. And before judging that response, the tension between them tells a much longer story.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake would be.
This feud didn't begin with Joshua. It started months earlier when Jake targeted Tank publicly, questioned his discipline, mocked his reputation, and ignited a rivalry tied to a fight that was meant to happen in Miami. A collapse that explains everything unfolding now.
AJ came right back in and swung, but he did move him back.
When this fight was first announced, you said to several media members that initially you weren't down for this fight. You thought it was just a little bit too much too soon, to paraphrase. Did he do better? Did Jake do better than you thought? Result aside, obviously you wanted him to win. You thought, I think by the end, that he was going to win, but did he actually do better than you thought initially?
When legal issues killed that matchup, Jake didn't retreat, he escalated, unloading on Tank across social media with insults and accusations, creating a personal debt that Davis never forgot and has been waiting to settle ever since.
No need posts, but it is what it is. I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get the biggest bogey check of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit.
So when Joshua delivered the outcome everyone predicted, Tank didn't see misfortune. He saw proof, triggering memes, leaked messages, and a firestorm online over whether the reaction was heartless or justified. Some say mocking a fighter with shattered jaw across the line. Others argue Jake built his brand on disrespect and finally faced the consequences. And the argument refuses to die. Doctors now say injuries like bilateral jaw fractures don't fade quickly, requiring 6 to 8 months before contact at best, possibly a full year away, along with extensive dental reconstruction, implants, bone grafts, and a brutal recovery that places Jake's career at a dangerous crossroads.
Yeah, just a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jadon Love ass. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. He know.
For the first time, even Jake sounded uncertain, admitting he needs smaller opponents, admitting heavyweight was a mistake, admitting he's stepping back. Words that landed harder than any punch because they revealed a shift not just in strategy, but in mindset. Even Anthony Joshua showed respect afterward, saying Jake absorbed shots that would have broken real heavyweights. And somehow that respect made the loss sting even more, because courage alone doesn't change reality.
All right, listen, respect to Jake. You know, he was a tough guy in there. Obviously, he moved a lot and made it difficult for AJ. And AJ's been out of the ring for a while. He's a bit rusty. It took him time to just get hold of him, but I was impressed with Jake. And listen, as I said to Nikisa, at the end of the day, he took shots that a lot of people would have got knocked out, clean out by, especially at the end, you know? So,
Was it frustrating for you to watch?
No, I mean, maybe, like, obviously, when someone's moving like that.
Respect to Jake Paul that we took a few rounds to get going because Jake was moving a lot and holding a lot, and you know it was difficult to nail him clean. I think, but eventually AJ took his time, cut him off, and smashed him about. And listen, respect to Jake Paul because that last shot, I know he broke his, shattered his jaw, but it would have knocked most heavigueights out. So I've got to give him credit.
I was going to say, in the end, are you pleased with that? Because obviously everyone was saying
Do that, he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet, who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet, my brother.
And when they're rugby tackling you, but he had to do what he had to do to survive. And he did that. So, you know, it's very difficult to go in like, you know, out of the ring for 14 months and just be razor sharp with a guy running. And so, yeah, probably 2 or 3 rounds more than expected. But fair play to Jake Paul. It was a lot tougher than I thought, and he took a lot more shots than I thought he could.
What did AJ tell you inside the ring about the fight?
Wicked fight. Respect to Jake Paul for taking the fight. Took a heavy shot. But you know what? What a fantastic fight he put on. But big well done to AJ. We knew from day one AJ was going to do it, but the better fighter was going to win.
People said that Jake Paul was running. Do you feel like he ran, or do you?
I mean, against someone like AJ, AJ's a big guy, strong guy, and he can hurt you. So yeah, 100%. Like he's gonna want to avoid his power, but you know what? He got caught in the corner and bang you out.